find it very, very pleasing to do news. But this morning's got demonetized, it's true. So we thought that we'd do a number 2. Mania time. Point at the sign. We have the current plans for Triple H and Goldberg at this year's WrestleMania, which NXT star requested to leave WWE, and the reason that Austin Aries was backstage at AEW Dynamite. We'll get there in a bit. So WrestleMania 36 is fast approaching. We are very much on the road.
Are we?
Huh?
I don't think we're on the road yet.
The road starts at the Rumble, what are you talking about?
We're on the road to Saudi Arabia.
Alright, we're on the road to Super Showdown.
A 9-week drive that way,
yeah,
and then we'll fly back
That's
over.
the service station on the way to WrestleMania. We're pulling in, and then there's
place?
another one down the line, Elimination Chamber, and then we get...
going like
right,
New York, Saudi Arabia.
Let's talk about Triple H and Bill Goldberg. We have the plans for them at WrestleMania, courtesy of Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer. And the plan is... no plans. This is a bit of a surprise, right? The quote here is, as of the most recent lineup, Triple H is not scheduled to wrestle on the show, nor is Bill Goldberg or Ronda Rousey as well. Everything is obviously subject to change, as Vince McMahon could always decide Goldberg is a better opponent for Reigns for a WrestleMania marquee, but that would also mean ditching plans for months of building Bray up for Reigns. So, we're not going to get a super cool entrance from Triple H. That's a shame.
They're not as good anymore.
Oh, they are.
He just comes out on a bike or on the back of a car now.
Do you not listen to Michael Cole? It was the coolest thing that he's ever seen. It was very,
but
very cool.
I don't know what Michael Cole sort of looks at in his spare time. That's the coolest thing he's seen.
I don't want to speculate on that.
A bloke spitting on another bloke on the back of a car.
All right. Bill Goldberg's interesting because it has been rumored now for several weeks that the plan may be for Goldberg to capture the title at Super Showdown, and then you get the title match between Reigns and Goldberg in a battle of the spears.
I still don't think that's going to happen. I think Goldberg and Triple H and all of these guys are going to be reserved strictly for the 1990s time capsule that is Saudi Arabia.
No, but WrestleMania you get some of that as well. Traditionally, you get...
Well, not like big marquee matches or anything. I think like the time for that might be... maybe passing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Edge coming back this year, so maybe they think that ticks the box of viewers that may not watch anymore but might be interested in someone from the Attitude Era and onwards. So, interesting. Ronda Rousey as well, worth mentioning there.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been sort of doing various bits on social media, teasing it, and then saying, hey, you didn't think I was going to come back now, did you? So, you know what? I'm not worried. I think the women's title matches, the rumoured title matches so far, obviously we've only got Charlotte versus Rhea confirmed, but I think they're shaping up to look pretty damn good, actually, and I don't think we need Ronda there, because I think she would detract from things.
She'll come out at the end. And she'll point
some more pointing.
Oh, there'll be WrestleMania signs everywhere.
In the vague vicinity of the site.
No, because it goes all the way around, doesn't it? It'll be like this.
Yeah. Would you rather see Reigns versus Bray?
Yeah. Because I want to see a big dramatic what's going to happen when the Fiend's finally defeated. Because he can't just go out on his back. Something's got to happen. The lights are probably going to go out and his body will disappear. And then I think Bray will just be gone for a while.
Oh, interesting.
Or at least Bray will be there, but the Fiend will be gone for a while.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Another interesting note on this, there are two superstars which were mentioned in this week's newsletter as not having any plans at the moment, and it was sort of hinted towards the fact that they might go one-on-one with one another. We've seen it before at WrestleMania, both Sheamus and Daniel Bryan.
Ooh.
I'd like to see that. There's loads to call back to there in storyline terms.
I mean, you could do the reverse match.
What, Bryan just... running
Small guys can win.
In 17 seconds. Yeah, go on, Brian. Next up, Chris Van Vliet recently got the chance to speak to one Tyler Breeze about his time in WWE, all sorts of things. Go and check that out on Chris's YouTube channel. He's fantastic, friend of the channel. We love you, Chris. However, Tyler Breeze revealing something quite interesting in this, and I quote, I was like, I don't want to wrestle anymore. Like, I don't think I want to. I had a conversation like, if you don't need me, I'm good to go. I don't need to be here. It kind of got turned into, okay, we really don't want to see you go, so let's make this work. And essentially, this is how the transition to NXT came about.
That's fascinating, that.
Yeah.
Like,
they want to keep everyone on board.
The company wanted to keep him on board, but like, it sort of gives more to the fact that he's now in NXT again.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just great.
And it's great because I think he's one of the guys that sort of opened the door for that to be possible as well. Like, he was one of the first people who went over, if not the first, back to
he was
NXT.
The
or did Dane go first?
That walked in. Dane sort of
did Dane go back down?
Because
he did nothing on SmackDown.
He just come back up.
So. But that's the thing. Like Tyler Breeze and Fandango as well. They were stagnating over on SmackDown. On the main roster, they were stagnating. And they've come back and they've done some pretty cool stuff. And he appears to be a lot happier. His demeanour in this interview suggested that he's enjoying wrestling again once more.
There were some of the most fun segments as well. When I was still covering NXT, was always the Fashion Police segments, which is great.
They're great. And it's a weird thing because, like, you look at Fandango, beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So it feels weird to say that now. Tyler Breeze got the match with Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yeah.
It appeared that they had massive things in store for both of those guys, and I'm enjoying seeing them on NXT. It might go down as one of those cases of like, what if they'd done a little bit more with those?
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those, like, you'll look back on it, and you already look back on it going like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, this was a thing.
It feels
like,
bizarre to say those two sentences.
Plans? Like Fandango got in the UK charts.
He did, number 38, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, there was just such a big buzz around both guys at the time, and it just sort of got a bit muddled once it got main roster time, and everything started getting compounded, and the roster was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then brand split. And
I think out of those two, Tyler Breeze was the more exciting prospect for me.
Yeah.
I think he had such a cool gimmick, and even though he didn't beat Liger or anything, to be given the opportunity to wrestle Liger in NXT,
Liger's only WWE match,
is an amazing accomplishment in itself. So I'm excited to see like where both of those guys, but especially Breeze, go. I'd love to see him back on the main roster in a few years. He's got a few years ahead of him as well. He's not that old or anything, so we'll see.
I think it's inevitable, but I'm enjoying their time in NXT now. I don't really want it to end, so I'm just sort of I'm riding that wave.
Nice. Next up, let's talk about Austin Aries. Now, Austin Aries was spotted with his good friend DDP arriving at the arena where AEW Dynamite was hosted this week, leading to all sorts of speculation as to whether or not he would sign with the company. Well, Bodyslam.net have revealed something quite interesting about this, and he's not there necessarily to be doing any wrestling. So, while speaking to sources about Austin Aries' visit last night with DDP backstage at Dynamite, I was told that the reason he was there was that the two are both part of a stem cell treatment venture that they are trying to get AEW to buy into. Now, various wrestlers have I don't want to say experimented with stem cells, but they've
undergone stem cell therapy.
Yeah, Kurt Angle's one. I believe Santino Marella, Kevin Nash, and. It said, obviously I'm not a doctor, but it said it'd be very, very beneficial.
Well,
Numerous
Kevin
people
Nash
have had
said that
great success.
He'd been walking around for like nearly 20 years with what felt just like a fog and a weight on his head, and then he had all of this therapy, the stem cell therapy, and he feels like he's 25 again. He's
right.
It feels like much better, like everything feels a lot more like him.
Cool.
So hopefully it is a really cool thing that becomes more commonplace, because obviously it seems like it's going to be a lot it's going to help a lot in the world of wrestling.
Yeah. I got a bollocking this week when we were talking about Austin Aries, because I went, I quite like Austin Aries as a wrestler, and then went on to say, the guy's a bit of a bellend though, isn't he? I don't like him. So I just want to clarify, as a wrestler, he's very, very good. He's great in the ring.
Incredible.
As a person, maybe not so much. But would you want to see Austin Aries in AEW? If he's there for more than this stem cell stuff?
I think there'd be some amazing matchups he could have.
Yeah.
Like, definitely. The guy can go like nobody's business. So it's... You open that floodgate and put him with, like, in a tag against the Jacksons, put him up against Pac again. They'll bring
I'd like to see that again. Those were some great matches.
Put him against Moxley. You can put him against anybody. Put him against Omega. I think pretty sure they'd have a great match.
He just seems maybe a bit difficult to work with backstage, like the Impact stuff with the John Morrison match. Johnny Impact, sorry.
We don't ever know the ins and outs of everything. I like especially stuff like that, because it's so like close knit. But the way it was sort of handled, well, like it did seem very messy. But
it wasn't fun to watch, that was it?
No,
it was
quite shocking. Yeah.
It certainly was. So we'll keep you updated on that, but I would say these reports at least suggest that Austin Aries may not step foot inside an AEW ring anytime soon. And finally, let's talk about Sami Zayn. Now, Sami isn't wrestling over on SmackDown at the moment, right?
No, he is managing Cesaro and Nakamura. They are his clients. He's sort of like a mini, like, angry Paul Heyman-esque character.
Okay.
He's very
I like his work a
disgusted
lot.
with the American people, and there was a great segment last week where he held a protest concert with Cesaro, and there's a lot of back and forth going on with Elias and him. I think that might be something that happens eventually, but
I think he's great. I think he's a really, really good mouthpiece. But we have a report from The Observer once again talking about why he hasn't been wrestling lately. And that's quite simply because he's still being bothered by shoulder problems. And that's one of the reasons that he wants to experiment. He's talked about this in interviews before because he was unable to wrestle for a while. And it still seems that that's the case. That he wants to improve his mic skills, which are already great, by the way. He's a really great mouthpiece. But he wants to do more of that. And it's really refreshing to see because one thing that WWE don't do enough of is have classic managers.
Yeah,
we don't have enough managers. I really do, and I don't understand it. I don't understand why. Because we've got Heyman, we've got Zelina Vega, we've got Sami Zayn, obviously. There are probably a few more that aren't springing to mind, but they're just so useful, especially for people who aren't the best talkers. Like Nakamura, I find him captivating to listen to, but obviously the language barrier is an issue.
Adam,
Cesaro's pretty good.
It's 2020. There's one gimmick, and that's good wrestler.
That's true.
And good wrestler doesn't need a mouthpiece.
No,
not at all.
No, certainly not.
I'm hard and I can wrestle.
You certainly can, Sam. So I think that's an interesting note to end on. I do want to see Sami back in the ring. I want to see him win a bloody title in proper WWE.
How is it he got injured again? It was his shoulders, right?
Yeah, shoulder injury.
He'd done it before, or he'd thrown one of his shoulders out when he came out, doing that for his entrance once.
Yeah.
And I think he just completely dislocated
and I think it's
or
just,
something.
it's got good and it's got bad. It's got good and it's got bad again and again. So hopefully we'll see him back in the ring soon. But if not, I'm happy in his current role. And at least he's being used on WWE TV.
Oh, God, yeah.
Even if it is on SmackDown, which is rubbish at the moment.
What?
Yeah, it's not that great, is it?
What?
We'll argue again. Red Power Ranger. Green Power Ranger.
It's got the most people showing up to the shows because it's a Friday night. People getting pissed, having a good time. Leaving before 2:05 Live.
I'm having a good time not watching it every week. See you later. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can pledge to us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.